Tonight on a special Christmas Day edition of The Project. After spending 2.5 years in an Australian prison, we relive the moment when Ali Yasmin returned home. Magda Jabinsky speaks on marriage equality, 50 hours without sleep, Sam Mack takes the test, and after a big Christmas lunch, how do we make ourselves feel healthy again? Welcome to The Project. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Carrie.
Merry Christmas to you all.
Is this exactly how you imagine spending Christmas Day with me
Couldn't
here?
think of anywhere else I'd rather be.
Of course not. We've got a huge show lined up for tonight, but before we look back on some of the best moments of 2012, let's head to the newsroom for the latest headlines.
Thanks, team. Making news this Christmas Day. Australians have turned out in their thousands at church services around the nation. Leaders of the key Christian faiths have used the day to remind people about the true meaning of the day, the birth of Jesus Christ. The US is again in shock after another deadly shooting. 2 firefighters have been killed and another 2 injured after being ambushed as they responded to a fire call-out. The attack has happened a little more than a week after the Sandy Hook school massacre in a town that's just 5 hours away. Australian lawyer Sarah Armstrong has finally touched down in Sydney after a 2-month ordeal in Mongolia. The 32-year-old, who works for a subsidiary of mining giant Rio Tinto, was being held in connection to corruption allegations. Former South African President Nelson Mandela is spending Christmas Day in hospital, where he's still being treated for a lung infection and gallstones. The 94-year-old was admitted 2 weeks ago, causing alarm across the nation, where he is revered as a hero. Mr Mandela spent 27 years in prison for leading the fight against apartheid. And a US family heard a giant crash this morning, and then they found this in their Texas backyard. A light plane which had clearly missed a nearby runway. The plane did narrowly miss the house, but it destroyed a shed and several fences. The good news, though, is everyone at the home's okay, and everyone who was on board is also reported to be okay. That's the latest from the 10 News Centre.
And we'll have some more news later in the program.
How many of you are watching this feeling bloated and tired sitting on the couch?
Do you know, I've found an interesting Christmas fact for you. Do you know why you feel sleepy after you eat turkey at Christmas?
Why?
There is a hormone called tryptophan in turkey that makes you sleepy.
I can't sleep often. Maybe that's what I need to do.
Yep, 2 in the morning, eat
Have
a
a
turkey.
turkey.
Eat a whole turkey.
Well, Christmas is the season for overindulging. It's also the season we all pile up a stack of waste. So how can we have a jolly green Christmas and save a few bucks in the process?
Still to come on The Project. Had a bad night's sleep, you could end up with more than just bags under your eyes. And we unlock the secret of making yourself healthy.
The least amount of exercise we could do would be approximately 30 minutes, 5 days a week.
I don't think any of us are feeling very healthy right now.
No.
Time now for an update from the 10 Newsroom.
Thanks, guys. Here's what's making news today. Thousands of Australians have packed church services right around the nation. Leaders of various Christian denominations used the day to remind people about the peaceful example set by the life of Jesus Christ. And in some cases, they did acknowledge past hurts caused by the church. Meanwhile, charities used the public holiday to work tirelessly, opening their doors to feed the masses. Free lunches brightening the day of the lonely and the less fortunate as well. 2 US firefighters have been shot dead and another 2 injured while responding to an emergency call in New York State. Police believe the 4 were fired upon in an apparent ambush as they arrived at a fire call-out. And former South African President Nelson Mandela is spending this Christmas in hospital, where he continues to be treated for a lung infection and gallstones. The South African government says the 94-year-old is responding to treatment. And that's the latest from the 10 News Centre. All of you guys, Merry Christmas.
Welcome back to our special Christmas Day edition of The Project. Tomorrow on The Project, we can't all be Einstein, but there are ways to make yourself smarter. Plus, Katy Perry and Dame Edna Everage join us in the studio.
Isn't it beautiful? Look! It shows off my pins.
Well, welcome back to the Christmas edition of The Project. We've got one last package left to unwrap. It's possibly the greatest gift Carrie has ever given us.
The airline price wars are heating up again, and we're being told fare discounting is as aggressive as it's ever been. Virgin's targeting key corporate routes, hoping to win over Qantas customers. And while that means cheaper travel for us, it's likely to mean bad news for the airline's bottom.
That web address you'll need is youtube.com.
Do not be immature,
No,
people.
be immature. It's great for us. It's an accident, but we will milk it. Carrie, please. I can't wait to hear the next one. For the record, that clip has now reached over 500,000 views on YouTube. That's only 899 million less than Gangnam Style.
What if I did that while doing that at the same time?
Yeah,
Swore and Gangnam.
try that in the new year, Carrie. Let's do that.
And we hope Santa was very generous and you've had a wonderful Christmas day. Thank you for spending it with us.
We'll be back at the same time tomorrow for more highlights from the year that was. Have a great night.